Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jerry and Bulldog Nation, I hope you had a wonderful New Year's Day, New Year's Eve weekend, and you're ready to charge out of the gate in 2021 like I am. I'm ready to get going. Aren't you? Isn't it time to get going? Well, let's talk about the Bulldog Report for today. First and foremost, Donald Trump is headed to Georgia. Of course, he's going to Dalton, Georgia. As soon as I hear the name Dalton, Georgia, I think, Dalton, Georgia Carpet Outlets, right? He's going down there to Dalton, Georgia Carpet Outlets somewhere and having a big old rally. Of course, Biden's going to Atlanta, where I'm sure he's checking in with Stacey Abrams of their theft operation they got going down there. Goes to the gangster city, home of CNN. Unfreaking believable. You know what? This phone call with the Secretary of State means nothing except what it says. Trump's being emphatic, hey, they're trying to steal this thing. Where's the votes? It's a figure of speech. I mean, it blows me. And you know, Washington Post released this secretly recorded phone call with the president. You don't think the president knows he's being recorded? All his calls are recorded, trying to affect the outcome of the election. I tell you right now, if the suburban women of Georgia, who are doing swimmingly under Trump, fail to vote for the two Republican senators, well, are you kidding me? The vote, of course, is tomorrow, Tuesday. And everybody knows what's at stake. I mean, what else? Guess absent Loeffler and Perdue and being found out that they are into weird, goofy, crazy, sick stuff, you have to be a moron not to vote for the two of them. If the United States Senate is controlled by the Democrats, the next 2 years are going to be downright freaking scary. It's that simple. You don't need to know anything about anything else except that. That's how you should vote. The vice president's role. Well, first off, January 6th. January 6th is the day that the Electoral College votes are supposed to be certified, where the vice president opens them up and says, here you go. There is a legal dispute going on right now that Gohmert, he lost in the federal district, lost in the Fifth Circuit. We'll see if the U.S. Supreme Court does something. I'm sure they won't because they're wimps. But you know what? Pence apparently can decide which electors to decide. And there are the House of Representatives and the United States Senate. They call them the Dirty Dozen. Try to make them sound bad, the Dirty Dozen. They always come up with these little cute little phrases. But there are some House Republicans and U.S. Senators who are going to fight to the bitter end, and I say fight to the bitter end. And, of course, January 6th is the gigantic rally. They are going to descend upon Washington, D.C. By the way, I think Biden's rally tonight is probably a horn honking down at the local Denny's. The stimulus, the so-called stimulus. You know, I've been thinking about this. And I know $600 is a lot of money to a lot of people. But I was thinking about it. $600. If you worked a 40-hour week, making $15 an hour, if I do the math, is that not $600? I could be wrong, but I think that's $600. 1 week. Look at the devastation of the lockdowns. He is wiping people out. We give them that money goes. And then, how about this? I think the percentage, Americans get like 18%, and everybody else, foreign countries, get like 82% of the stimulus. It's some crazy number. And you know what? Congress acts like they're doing you a favor. It's your money. And how messed up is it? We are borrowing money to give it to a foreign country. You can't make this up. All right, COVID science. You know, it drives me crazy. The masks. Do you know in every medical malpractice case, even the butcher of Pakistan has medical experts that say he didn't do anything wrong. It's comical, but by golly, they can find an expert for your pay to come in and say, yeah, Durrani didn't do anything wrong. You know, these people that say, you got to trust the science, follow the science, believe in the science. Which science? Which scientific expert do you believe? They act like, well, you got to believe these scientific experts. Do you realize, folks, ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, that there's always science on both sides? So who decides? Who picks the science? If the science is the end all, what are we supposed to do when the scientists disagree? You get my point? And I'm thinking about all this silliness. Put the mask on to go into the restaurant, but you take the mask off when you sit down and eat. And what about all the servers? They got a mask on, but their hands, they don't have gloves. And if they have gloves, what difference does it make if they have gloves or no gloves? Whatever they're touching, if it's got coronavirus on it, they got coronavirus on it. I'm going to read an article, part of an article. I'm not going to read the whole article. By Michael Walsh, who's the editor of Pipeline.org, and he's written all kinds of books. And this was a great article in Epoch Times. Epoch News, E-P-O-C-H. Unable to successfully compete in the arena of accomplishment and civilization progress, they prefer instead to tear it apart and burn it all down in the name of social justice, when what they mean is simply revenge. Listen to this. As 2021 dawns, the war on our culture moves into high gear. The opportunistic intersection of the resistance to the Trump presidency, the rise of monopolistic tech giants, the spurious panic over the psychologically weaponized CCP virus in the form of COVID-19 and its concomitant loss of personal freedom, the neo-Marxist hijacking and worsening of race relations, and the legalistic undermining of U.S. laws and institutions have all evolved into a perfect storm of destruction that not only threatens the future of the United States, but actively seeks its destruction. Call it cancer culture writ large. And boy, he hits it out of the park. It's what they want. They want to burn down America. Burn it down. That's what they're after. And half of this damn country buys it. Now, they are the ones that are living in our major cities, in our democratic states. It's truly amazing how these people think so different than us. And they own half the damn country. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great 2021.